Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from OwnPie9517. Am I the beehole for refusing to talk to my parents until they give me an honest answer to my question? I, a 17-year-old male, live with my parents and my younger siblings. We were very close until recently. My first mom died when I was 6 days old. She developed eclampsia in the late stages of pregnancy with me, and she would never recover from it. A few weeks later, my dad picked up and moved with me because he couldn't stay where they were planning a life together. This left her family behind. She has parents, siblings, nieces and nephews, aunts, uncles, and cousins, who are always very tight-knit family. My dad met my adoptive mom when I was 7 months old. Out of insecurity on my mom's part and a desire to forget the future, he had planned with my mom. Contact between my biological and maternal side was linked to once a year. My mom didn't want to share the role of mom, but she's not there. She knew my family would want to talk about my mom around me and would want me to know that she existed, but she didn't want to feel like she was less of a true mom. And my dad has just never gotten over the pain of losing my mom, and he buries the past with her to cope. I don't fully understand why they couldn't just put me first in that decision, but they didn't. My childhood was mostly happy. It had some negatives like wishing I knew my family better or had known my mom. I also wasn't accepted by my mom's family, so that was always fun. Then I had more contact with my family. It started with texting, calling and Zoom calls regularly, and then convincing my dad to let me go for a weekend here and there. He and my mom did not like it, and the decision confused my siblings too. I have loved getting to know them, and they have loved getting to know me. Grandparents' rights wasn't an option for them because of the 1-year visit, so seeing more is a huge for them. My parents really started to let me know how much they disliked all this extra contact. My dad said it's painful for my mom, told me she feels less important because I'm chasing a relationship that ties to a mom I don't remember. Wow, what an evil wench. A couple weeks ago, they told me I should think of them and my mom's feelings. I asked them how they would feel if they were in my mom's shoes or her family's shoes. If they died while their child was just a baby, and they were raised by their spouse and his new spouse, would they be okay with that? And would they be okay if my siblings and I died with a newborn, and they never got to be a real part of their lives? They refused to answer. I told them I don't want to speak until they give me an answer, because they're being totally unfair to me. My parents are angry about this, and my siblings asked me why I had to make this such a big deal. So I posed the question, if one of us died, and we never got to see their only child, would they be okay with that? It helped them to understand, but my parents don't like that I'm the I know talking thing. But they all want to talk about this topic, and they also won't give me an answer. Am I the beehole? IOP. No, they're not the beehole. And why does this always happen when someone gets a step parent? They always want to erase the bio parent because they feel insecure. There's nothing you could do or say that will make that person not their bio parent. You know what I mean? You just gotta go with it, and eventually, because it sounds like OP got along with the mom, well, the stepmom. So it's crazy how insecure she is. And yeah, I get it. If I were the OP, I'd want to know my mother's side too, and that's not fair to them. You're the child of their deceased child. Of course, they wanna get to meet you and know you because you came from their daughter. And it sounds like they're good people who treat you well, and it's not one of those situations where they're going to court making your life worse. It sounds like your dad kind of just sucks because yeah, I get it. That's his, wife. He lost her, and that does suck. But you're supposed to, put your child first and care for your child. And he's just focusing on him, and he seems to have chosen someone kind of like him too for the stepmom. But OP, you're not the beehole, and yeah, you have the right to. Well, I don't know the right, but you know what I mean. You should be able to know your mother's side of the family and know more about your mother. That's not being fair to you. They're just being selfish. So OP, not the beehole. And our next one comes from Just Possibility 904. Am I the beehole for telling my son that he should have told me more about his girlfriend's dietary restrictions? My son, a 25-year-old male, started seeing a new girl named Lexi around a year and a half ago. She lives a few hours away, but they see each other often enough. I'd never meet her personally until now. I don't know much about her, but she makes my son happy and seems to have a good head on her shoulders. That's all that matters to me. Last Friday, we hosted a barbecue party, around 25 to 30 people. It was mostly friends and family. My son asked me if he could bring Lexi, and I told him that was fine. We had ribs, burgers, and wings, as well as some sides that didn't have any meat. What my son didn't communicate to me or anyone else handling the food was that Lexi is a very particular eater and wouldn't be able to eat anything we served. Lexi is Catholic and can't eat meat on Fridays. I'm Catholic or Christian. I don't know which one of them, but I eat meat on Fridays. Maybe I'm not a good one. Who knows? My son was aware of this and invited her to a barbecue, knowing what would be served. On top of that, she also had a sort of EDARFID that limits what kinds of food she will and can eat without feeling sick. She was really sweet, and I enjoyed her company, but I felt terrible watching her sit without food. When I asked if she'd eaten beforehand, she told me that yes, and that she wasn't hungry. I asked my son separately why he'd gone out to eat right before a barbecue. He told me that they come straight from her house, so I asked him if she didn't like the food, to which he explained why she couldn't eat the meat, and that she won't eat any of the sides either. Since didn't say anything beforehand, I asked her myself. I asked Lexi if there was anything I could get or make her, or if she wanted us to run somewhere and pick something up. She asked if I had any fruit, so she had fruit salad. After everything was sorted out, my son came up to me and told me I had embarrassed her, and shouldn't have drawn attention to it. I told him that he should have tried harder to accommodate her, or to at least tell us beforehand that she wouldn't be able to eat whatever everyone else was. We easily could have made some plain salad or had fruit available at no hassle for anyone else. She would have at least been able to pick something instead of going hungry. If we were addressed beforehand, then we wouldn't have had to ask. My son left in a huff to bring Lexi home, and he's still insisting that I made a bad impression, and it wouldn't have been a big deal if she didn't eat. Well, that's messed up, dude. Apparently, I made her anxiety worse, but that's according to him. I'm not sure I believe it. Am I the beehole? Could I have handled it any other way? Hi, OP. You are not the beehole. I'm gonna say your son's the beehole. How mean is that? Like, really, you're not gonna mention bringing someone to a barbecue, which barbecues mostly consist of meat and greasy things like mac and cheese and oh, I'm hungry. Barbecue baked beans, all of that, and he knows she has special dietary requirements. He could have told that to you, and yeah, it's not hard to go grab a couple fruits, some veggies, and make a little salad or fruit salad, and she wouldn't have to have, you wouldn't have to even have asked her. And I definitely don't think you made a bad impression. I think that's really nice of you to ask her, hey, are you sure? Because that's, you know what I mean? That sucks. You're at a barbecue, everyone's eting, and then she's stuck there not eating, starving, because apparently she didn't eat beforehand. What's up with your son? Like, why is he being like that to his girlfriend? Like, would you not want her to eat? Like, he goes, oh, it's fine. She could just sit there and starve while we have fun and eat our food and all that. And he gets mad at you for wanting to be accommodating to his, girlfriend that seems like a very nice person, which is great. Doesn't seem like your son's a very nice person over here wanting his girl to starve. So, OP, no, you're not the beehole. You went above and beyond. You went back and you even went, hey, can I go and get you something? Because, it's not right. Everyone gets to eat, she doesn't get to eat. And I put the blame on him for putting you guys on this situation because, like you said, he has to know her dietary restrictions. He could have said, hey, mom, Lexi can't eat this and this. Can we get some fruits? Do we have any fruits or any veg or anything like that? And then problem solved. He's being a jerk because he's over here saying that you made a bad impression. No, you did not. He's probably mad because you made him look stupid and made him look like a terrible boyfriend for wanting to starve his girlfriend. OP, you're not the beehole. And our final one comes from Simple Band 1996. Am I the beehole for taking my grandchildren to Disney for the first time without their mother and refusing to apologize when confronted? My son made this account and asked me to post this story, but because he claims my normal meter is skewed and the internet is going to tell me I'm a beehole. I recently babysat my grandchildren, 5 and 4, for a period of 4 nights and 5 days, so my son and his wife could attend a wedding in Mexico and spent a few days on vacation. They approached me since her mother would not be available, and I initially said I wasn't comfortable with that. It seemed like a long time to watch the kids, and she has point blank told me that the woman's family is more important than the man's. Oh wow, she seems like a lovely person. So I was irritated. I was being asked and not her mother. I will admit that I did give in when my son became very emotional, but I felt like they were being manipulative. While I had the kids, I was invited to a birthday at Epcot and wanted to go. It didn't even occur to me to run it by my son or my daughter-in-law, as I had the kids for an extended period of time, and obviously they knew I would be going where I went. My daughter-in-law had previously mentioned wanting to save up for Disney, but she said that about a lot of things, and never made it aware it was something super special to her. Of course, she's one of those pixie dusters. Also, it was Epcot. It's not like I took them to the Magic Kingdom, and they had some magical moments of seeing their favorite character. When they returned and found my daughter-in-law, it was furious and burst into tears. She said I stole one of her kids first and called me entitled. To be honest, I didn't react well being called entitled, when she was the one who previously demanded babysitting. My son asked me to apologize, as she was distraught over missing their first Disney trip. Who cares? Disney sucks. I'm sorry, but ugh. But I declined and asked him to leave. My son reached out again and said I should have asked for something that big, and his wife feels robbed. I know she's a huge Disney person. Oh, red flag. But it was Epcot, not quintessential Disney, and I don't feel like I should have missed out on a birthday party I wanted to attend. I told my son I'm not apologizing for anything, and maybe they should think about how they made me feel when they didn't respect my initial no. My son feels like Reddit is going to show me the error of my ways. Well, OP, if you or your son ever sees this video, your son is in the wrong, and he's married a terrible person in my eyes. First of all, Disney. Who the hell likes Disney nowadays? They're garbage through and through. If you're going anywhere, go to Universal. Then again, I don't know if Universal's where the big Disneyland is or small Disneyland is. I don't really care about amusement parks. I will eventually go to Universal because I want to get some good Princess Peach merch. That's about it. But you are not the beehole. You initially said no. They manipulated you basically into watching the kids for a long period of time. Jeez, that's a lot of time to just throw kids on someone like that. And they expect you to just drop everything and not, live your life. Yeah, you wanted to go to a birthday party that happened to take place at Disneyland. Oh well, or Epcot. I know Disney's like just a grift now that drains you, so I assume you have to pay to go everywhere at the park now. You need like 50 park hoppers, and you need the line ticket, and you need a thing on your phone to skip the line ticket, and you gotta buy another thing, so it's like $8,000 to go to Disneyland if you want to spend the night there. Disneyland is stress and not worth it nowadays. But yeah, son, if you see this, you're the beehole. You're a beehole. You're manipulative. You've married a person who is terrible, over here telling your family, oh, the woman's side is more important than the man. No, 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 no. Growing up with my mother and father, who are great parents, who love both me and my siblings equally, both had no problems taking me to either side of their family, and both families had some sneakers in there. All right. So she already has a ton of red flags. She's over here losing her mind over going to Disneyland. Again, who cares? I could never get with someone who's like a pixie duster. Just crawls my flesh. But OP, there's not much I have to say. I'd say you're in the right. You can't be expected to not continue what you were gonna do because you didn't plan to have these children. You know what I mean? You didn't say far in advance yes to watching these children, where you could clear your schedule and be ready for that. They just thrusted them upon you, and she sounds like a grade 8 bitch. I'm just gonna be straight up. And it sounds like your son is whooped over here telling you to apologize. Don't apologize. Sounds like she's probably gonna try to make sure they never see you again. She strikes me as that type of person. OP, I hope not, but yeah, son, you're wrong. The father is correct. You guys can't just take advantage of people like that and get mad like that. So OP, you are not the beehole. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.